Hello, my name is Muhammad Asri. I will explain about clean water and sanitation. In Malaysia, in one of many developing countries, on the rise out of poverty and into wealth prosperity, like many developing countries, Malaysia had to make adjustment to its way of life. One of those changes was improving access to clean water and hygiene sanitation. Today, improvement to water and sanitation in Malaysia have made the country a model for other developing countries working to ensure stable and healthy livelihood. Case study have been done for orang asli community. Although water and sanitation access has improved tenfold, some important groups are still in need of aid. This group include the poor immigrant families and people living in scheduled rural area. Their health issue are worse than average. Infant mortality was double the national figure, and parasitic infections were as high as up to 90% in certain community. Most of these issues, if not all, were largely due to poor access to land, water and sanitation. The Orang Asli and the Global Peace Foundation work together to create the Community United for Pure Water. It's called CPU, combats for poor water and sanitation access through the installation of filter and pump. As a result, Orang Asli people no longer have to travel miles to get clean water. Two new water pumps draw from the wells and transport into filter water some storage tanks. These are then distributed to each household through a pipe system. The Orang Asli people have stated that this significant change has made their life much easier. They are also now less prone to diarrhea and fevers. For improvement to water and sanitation in Malaysia, to tackle this issue in clean water and sanitation access, Malaysia joined Vision 2020 in 1991 under Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad, setting out with a goal to reach developed country status by the year in 2020. In addition to solving water and sanitation issue, the agreement set out to address many other issues as well, including climate change, social division, financial challenge, and need improvement in technology advance. For the conclusion, Malaysia will have to work while on its road to success. It's to pay better attention to poor groups to ensure that they get access to clean water and sanitation as well. In order to strive for peace, they must have equal and fair treatment for everyone, regardless of social class. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Rosaidi bin Rusli. I will explain about Goal 7, Affordable and Clean Energy. Between 2020 and 2016, the number of people with electricity increased from 78 to 87%, and the number without electricity dipped to just below 1 billion. Yet as the population continues to grow, so will the demand for cheap energy, and economy reliant on fossil fuel is creating drastic change to our climate. Advertising in solar, wind and thermal power, improving energy productivity and ensuring energy for all is vital if we are achieve SDG by 2030. In Malaysia, we have large hydro, natural gas and coal. Malaysia has a lot of natural hydro resource potential. This is mainly provided by its unique geographical advantage, as Malaysia has 189 rivers with the total length approximately of 57,300 km. Hydropower generation contribute 13% of total Malaysia power generation in 2016. Target Goal 7. By 2030, ensure universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy. By 2030, double the global rate of improvement in energy efficiency. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emily Richard and I will explain about the sustainable cities and communities. Sustainable cities and communities is to make cities and human settlement inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. One of the example is sustainable transport system. In Malaysia, there are few reasons why Malaysians are extremely frustrated with our transportation system. One of the reasons is punctuality issue. The lack of punctuality is a major issue in transportation service around the city. For the next reason is the inconvenience of limited parking spaces. Last but not least, transportation system in Malaysia doesn't help the traffic. It is due to the poor public transport coverage, especially in the urban area. We will only experience the increase in privately owned vehicle because many will say that it is inconvenient to take public transport. Subsequently, it will only create own traffic in town. For the conclusion, we have to provide to safe, affordable, accessible, and sustainable transport system for all. By improving road safety, notably by expanding public transport with special attention to the needs of those in vulnerable situations, women, children, persons with disabilities, and older persons. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, point number 12 is to ensure sustainable consumption and production pattern. This point is about to promote resources and energy efficiency, sustainable infrastructure, provide access to basic service, green, and so on. Other than wastage from factory, there are several types of wastage that have to be treated. For example, our food wastage. As we know that every function that be prepared, they must prepare food. So if the leftover didn't treated properly, it will become wastage and it will affect our environment. This point show to us that any other chemical wastage from factory and other resources must be managed properly, because if it didn't treated properly, it will affect to our environment. For example, we as a Malaysian must be responsible to manage the chemical and waste, especially for hazardous waste. Chemical and waste that need to be managed properly, we can see from factory and so on.
For Goal 13, climate action, there is no country that is not experiencing the drastic effect of climate change. Greenhouse gas emission more than 50% higher than in 1990. Global warming is causing long-lasting change to our climate system, which then in irreversible consequences if we do not act. The annual average economic losses from climate-related disaster in the hundreds of billions of dollars billion of ringgit in Malaysia. There is not to mention the human impact of geophysical disasters, which are 91% climate related, and which between 1998 to 2017 killed 1.3 million people and left 4.4 billion injured. The goal aimed to mobilize $100 billion annually by 2020 to address the need of developing countries to both adapt to climate change and invest in low carbon development. Supporting valuable region will be directly contribute not only to goal 13 but also to the others. This action must also go hand in hand with effort to integrate disaster risk measures, sustainable natural resources management, and human securities into national development strategies for countries.